Hi, this is the second half of section P3. This is the last section that we will cover before our next test. We're going to be multiplying polynomials today. So for number 1, we're going to take the x and multiply it first by x squared. So that's x cubed. Then x times 2x gives you a positive 2x squared. And then x times 4 is a positive 4x. Next, we're going to take negative 2 times every term in the second polynomial. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Notice how I wrote it directly underneath the first one so that we can keep those terms lined up. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. And then negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. And now if we combine our like terms, we end up with x cubed here. The 2x squared and the negative 2x squared equals 0. 4x and negative 4x equals 0. And then minus 8. So your final answer is x cubed minus 8. Four x plus 5 quantity squared. If you know the pattern for squaring a binomial, you may use that. If you don't remember the pattern, you can always write it twice. And FOIL it. So in this case, 4x times 4x is 16x squared. Then 4x times 5 is 20x. 5 times 4x is 20x. And 5 times 5 is 25. So you end up with 16x squared plus 40x plus 25. The pattern that I mentioned a second ago, if you have something like a plus b quantity squared, that will always multiply out into a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So if you know that pattern, it can save you some time. Number 3, we are cubing this binomial, and so you may want to choose to write that out 3 times. Okay, for number 3, we're going to write this 3 times. 3x plus 2y cubed. Sorry, we're writing it 3 times, not cubing it. And we're going to have to multiply all 3 of these together. So I'm going to start here. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. And then using the pattern that we looked at a second ago, 3x times 2y is 6xy. 3x times 2xy is 6xy. So we end up with 12xy as the middle term. And then last times last is 4y squared. And we need to take all of that times 3x plus 2y. So now we have 9x squared times 3x, which is 27x cubed. 9x squared times 2y is 18x squared y. 12xy times 3x is 36x squared y, and I wrote it directly under the other x squared y. And now 12xy times 2y is 24xy squared. And now the last term, 4y squared times 3x is 12xy squared. Again, writing it directly under the other xy squared term. And then 4y squared times 2y is 8y cubed. Now you can add together all those like terms, and your final answer is 27x cubed plus 54x squared y plus 36xy squared plus 8y cubed. Number 4, again we're going to FOIL. Radical A times radical A is just plain A. And then radical A times negative radical B is negative radical AB. The middle, inside times inside, is positive radical AB. And last times last is negative B. So these middle terms are equal to 0, and the whole thing ends up just to be A minus B. Number 5, an artisan can produce and sell X hats per month. The total cost in dollars for producing X hats is C equals 460 plus 12X, and the revenue is R equals 36X. Find the profit. Well, the formula for profit is it's revenue minus cost. So for part A, we take the revenue, which is 36x, and subtract the cost, which is 460 plus 12x. Now remember to put that cost in parentheses because it's minus the whole thing. Now we distribute that negative 36x minus 460 minus 12. I missed an x right there. Sorry about that. And so the formula for profit is going to be 36 minus 12 is 24x minus 460. Find the profit obtained by selling 42 hats per month. So we will take that formula that we just found and substitute 42 for x. And 24 times 42 is 1008. Subtract the 460 and you get $548. And finally, we have a box problem. Find the volume of the box in terms of x. Now this box has been flattened out, so you have to imagine cutting off these corners right here and folding the sides up to create a box. When you do that, the height of the box is going to be from this piece to right here. So volume, remember, is length times width times height. So our height is x. The length of the box is 3x minus 5. And the width of the box is 2x plus 1. So our volume is 3x minus 5 times 2x plus 1 times x. And we're just going to leave it that way. We're not going to multiply it out this time. And then for part B, find the volume when x is 5. So we're just going to substitute a 5 for the x. And calculating that, 3 times 5 is 15, minus 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, and then times 5. So 10 times 11 times 5 is 550. And that would be cubic centimeters.